This is another chance to see the video on RHS Wisley that featured in episode 7 of Freya's Tropical Garden. RHS Wisley is the flagship garden of the Royal Horticultural Society. It was given to the RHS in 1903 and has predominantly been used even to this day for experimentation and plant science. And it's a fantastic place to visit if you're looking for inspiration or to relax in the beautiful surroundings. This beautiful building housed the old laboratory, overlooking the terraced landscape of the tranquil Jellicoe Canal. This garden was set out by Sir Geoffrey Jellicoe in the 1970s, and here you can see several cultivars of water lily, all of them named. And the shelter provided in the walled garden makes it a perfect spot for some of the more tender plants and hosts 50 cultivars of hosta, as well as some Trachycarpus that were left over from the previous tropical theme planting. The beautiful oak wood was previously the wild garden, Wisley's first garden. Mounds, ponds and ditches were all created in order to grow difficult to grow plants. And the 7 acres garden is wide open with lawns and ponds, a lake, and a smaller round pond separated by a grass causeway with a small weir. In spring you can see several peonies and alliums give it plenty of colour. And there's this beautiful Chinese pavilion which was built in 2005 for the Hampton Court Palace Flower Show. And you can see these huge fish swimming in the pond. I'm no expert, I'm assuming maybe carp. Or of course you could just sit and feed the ducks. Wisley, just like a lot of places, are trying to encourage us to be a bit more environmentally friendly, so they do offer discounted entry if you take the shuttle bus from Woking train station. And then of course there's the main purpose of my visit today, the beautiful tropical glasshouse. And there is so much more to see besides, which I did not get time to on this visit. So I just want to talk a little bit now about some of the plants that I have seen today. Like this beautiful pink water lily called René Girard, which is flecked and striped with crimson. Or the beautiful white star-shaped flowers on the Odorata, which is more suitable if you've got a small or shallow pond. This beautiful variegated cornus is also known as the wedding cake tree. It will grow about 4 to 8 metres tall and has these beautiful variegated ovate leaves. You will of course find several Trachycarpus fortunei, also known as the windmill palm, as it is generally considered to be the hardiest palm tree in the UK. This palm tree is low maintenance, fast growing, and grows up to about 8 metres tall. Although it can be a bit slow to get growing, it will normally grow about 30 centimetres a year and would be hardy down to about -12. If you've got patience, you can grow it from seed. You can see the massive cluster of seeds that this one's produced. One of the ways you can tell it apart from other Trachycarpus is that the leaves bend, while the Trachycarpus wagneranus has a much more rigid leaf. More commonly called the waggy, it's hardy down to about -15 degrees and a much more compact palm. The European fan palm is a multi-stemmed dwarf palm, hardy to about -9, while the beautiful blue-silver leaves of the Argentea variety provide a wonderful bit of foliage in the tropical garden. Just like the standard variety, this is a multi-stemmed palm tree and is also considered hardy in the UK. The Trachycarpus princeps hybrid has been bred to be a larger tree as well as a more hardy variety than the standard Trachycarpus princeps, while still retaining the attractive paler leaf. The Nephophia papaya popsicle is a smaller variety than the ones I grow in my garden, growing to about 60 centimetres tall, but reportedly flowering throughout summer and autumn. I was particularly taken with this Yucca gloriosa bright star with vibrant yellow foliage, which will display hues of pink if stressed by cold or water. And next to it, this breathtaking Agave attenuata with its big wide leaves. And this produces the beautiful pale yellow bell-shaped flowers on long stalks. The Grevillea johnsonii is a vigorous bushy shrub from Australia with narrow needle-like leaves and clusters of spidery flowers, and is hardy down to about -5. Brunera Jack Frost is very similar to the Alexander's Great that I grow in my garden. It has the same attractive leaf, however it is a slightly smaller variety. I grow a few pineapple lilies in my garden, but this Eucomis Frank Lawley has these lovely tall flowers topped with that typical pineapple crown. The ginkgo is one of my favourite trees, and the ginkgo tit is a more dwarf compact variety, as is the finger, which only grows to about 1.5 metres tall and is very slow growing. The tuberfolia grows to about 6 or 7 metres tall, and the leaves curl round to form this tube shape that gives it its name. In the oak wood there is a lovely big gunnera, which appears to be the manicata variety from the fact that the stems look to be green. Normally you can identify Tinctoria from the pink colour to the stem, but unfortunately it is often missold as a manicata, and even the RHS here have mislabelled it by the looks of things. I grow Paulonia tomentosa in my garden. However, this variety, Paulonia fargesii, might be useful if you are growing it for the flowers rather than the larger leaves, as it produces flowers that are more frilly and pleated around the rim, but it will not produce flowers if pollarded back for the larger leaves. And if you're looking for the perfect bamboo, there are plenty of varieties here for inspiration. Plioblastus linearis grows up to 12 feet tall with distinctive narrow grassy foliage with slightly arching stems. It's hardy down to -20. Philostachys aureoculus grows 20 foot tall with a beautiful yellow stripe running through the cane. It's hardy down to -23 degrees. Pseudosassa japonica is one of the most invasive types of bamboo, known as the arrow bamboo. I've got it in my garden, but I grow it in a pot. It has beautiful, heavy, glossy, deep green leaves. Philostachys nigra is a very vigorous bamboo that grows 16 foot tall and has brown or black spots. Plioblastus simonii is a tough bamboo that can run but is normally not hard to control. It can reach 14 foot tall and survives down to -25 degrees. The Tsutsumiyama is also known as the green onion bamboo. It's easy to grow and not fussy at all about the conditions. However, it should be noted with all these bamboos that even with the clumping varieties, they can spread out of control. The Sasayella is a clumping bamboo and has an attractive white stripe running through the leaf. It's hardy down to about -10 to 15. I love this Crocosmia, Colton fishacre. It's one of the more hardy forms, with beautiful apricot flowers and a dusty bronzed colour to the leaf. The Tetrapanax papyrifer is very distinguished from the Rex variety by the orangey indamentum, or fuzz, and the leaves are more rounded than they are with the Rex variety. Pseudopanax crassifolius is an absolute marvel of the horticultural world, masquerading as a dead tree in order to avoid predation. It prefers slightly acidic soil and shelter from cold winds. The Smolanthus maculatus is a huge herbaceous perennial that produces yellow flowers in autumn. It's also known as the red sugar cane and is native to Central America. And one of the most attractive features about this plant is its wonderful mottled stem. The Mahonia softcaress is one of the first Mahonias produced with spine-free leaves. It's an evergreen shrub and it's hardy and low maintenance. And at the entrance to the glass house are these two beautiful Cyathea medullaris, also known as the black tree fern, with black ribbed fronds up to 5 meters long. This tree fern is fast growing, however it is not as hardy as the standard Dicksonia antarctica that a lot of us grow in our gardens. And talking of which, no trip to Wisley would be complete without visiting the garden centre. If you're anything like me, you don't take much persuading to come back with at least something new for the garden. And of course at Wisley you are not short of inspiration. So for me, I've added 2 new dahlias to my garden, as well as this beautiful agave, and an asparagus fern, which I'm going to be using in a project later this year. And keep an eye out for the next episode of Freya's Tropical Garden, where I will take you through the glasshouse. If you're enjoying this content, then please do make sure you're subscribed to my channel. This is still a new channel, so every subscriber really does make a difference. You can also turn on notifications to make sure you don't miss any of my new videos. And please let me know what you think in the comments, because they really do help my channel to grow. You can also follow me on social media for links to my latest videos and my photo of the day, in which I usually share photos of flowers from my garden, along with their names if known. You can follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, or you can join my Facebook group to ask questions or share photos. And you can find all of my YouTube videos on the Freya's Tropical Garden website, which I will also be expanding to provide advice pages as well as items for sale. Links to these pages are included in my description.